What is up, Light Fam? Welcome to another video. My name is David, your spiritual awakening coach, here to help you through your spiritual awakening. Quick reminder, tomorrow morning, Friday, March 18th, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time will be the first ever Lightways Live. Come by and say hi. I will be discussing the topic of navigating chaos and change spiritually. In light of world events, this is something that a lot of people need, and a lot of people are going through this on a personal level as well. So I think it'll be a pretty enlightening live that's meant to give you guys some encouragement and insight on your spiritual journey. Also, final reminder that the 45-day group coaching will be starting next Wednesday, the 23rd. If you want to be a member of that group, click the discovery call button in the description of this video. We'll hop on a quick discovery call on Zoom to see if the 45-day group coaching is for you. Again, the topics we're going to discuss in the group coaching is self-love, healing, self-worth, healing, shadow work, etc. So it's a pretty transformational course. If you have an interest, click the discovery call button below. Now, on to today's topic: your spiritual awakening and other people. So this is something that a lot of people find themselves in. So that's a situation where you've just had a spiritual awakening, you've woken up, and everyone else around you is still asleep. This is very common. And so you have this newfound sense of an understanding of how the nature of reality works. And you no longer believe what you used to believe, but all the people around you believe what you used to believe. And so there can be a lot of contention if you have people in your life that feel they need to give you their 2 cents on what you're doing with your life, or try to put fear into your mind as far as what your new belief system is. And by the same token, you can also fall into that role where you've discovered this newfound higher state of conscious awareness as far as the nature of reality. And now you are eager to kind of push your spirituality down people's throats. We want to avoid both of these scenarios. So how do we live in harmony? Well, let's get into your spiritual awakening and other people right now. Let's go. Your spiritual awakening and other people. One of the main things that I want you to understand is what you chose to experience after incarnating is only between your concept of yourself and your higher self. It's not for anyone else to judge or comment on, because from a 3D level, there's no way that someone else can know why you chose to incarnate or wanted to experience. So, now, of course, before incarnating, everybody was agreeing to the roles that they would play. So this person that is always putting in their 2 cents, before incarnating, they're agreeing to their role, right? So they're saying, okay, all right, this time I'm going to play the unawakened one, right? And then when you wake up on your timeline, I'll be your antagonist and I'll keep nagging you. And the lesson you're going to get from it is understanding the importance of your sovereignty. The lesson that I will get from it is learning that I will always be frustrated when I'm trying to control other people's lives, right? It's all a big play. So it's all a big training simulation for returning back to the love that we already are and from whence we came. Your spiritual awakening and other people. Well, when you deeply understand that you chose your timeline, this allows you to not take other people's criticism of your spiritual path personally. Let people off of the hook. How in the world are they supposed to know better than your higher self as to what's best for you? So don't take it personally. If they're criticizing your spiritual path, that means that they're not spiritually evolved in the first place, and they just don't know any better. It's probably not anything malicious. It's just that people can't advise from a place that they haven't reached yet. They can only advise from their own place of understanding. So don't fall into the ego's trap of needing to validate your spiritual path. Instead, step into the observer mind and ask how to respond from a higher state of consciousness. And once you're in that observer mind, you'll see that that person is probably just criticizing from the egoic mind. The ego is all about control, fear, and validation. The ego needs outside feedback to validate its own beliefs. But once you step into the observer mind, it's very easy to see the ego's agenda and not take things so personally. If everyone is perfectly where they're supposed to be on their timeline, and again, they chose to experience all of those challenges and learn everything they were supposed to learn on this particular timeline, then that would mean that it's also not your place to criticize someone else's spiritual path. We grow, learn, and get stronger by living through challenges. I hear a lot of people say, I wish I knew then what I know now. Well, the problem with that is you would have completely missed out on all of the growth and strength that you would have gained by living through that pain and overcoming it. This is why there's a huge difference between knowing something theoretically and actually applying it to your life and living through it. Experience is our greatest teacher. This is also what's known as gnosis. So if you feel tempted to criticize someone else's spiritual path, just bite your lip and let them grow from the challenges that they chose to experience on their timeline so that they can evolve into what they intended to evolve into on their particular timeline. You can't eat someone else's food for them. Each incarnation is unique to the individual. Your spiritual awakening and other people. Beware of the spiritual ego. This is a huge one, guys. The spiritual ego is the same type of ego as the religious ego. So these are the Bible beaters that go around and tell you that you need to be saved from something and you're going to go to hell unless you repent. Now, as utterly ridiculous and nonsensical as that entire concept is, you actually become that same person when you have this newfound sense of spirituality and you go around and try to shove your spirituality down other people's throats. And it's a very easy behavior to fall into because there's this new sense of spiritual enthusiasm and eagerness. You've discovered this new sense of the nature of reality and your own divine essence. And so it's very easy to want to share that with people. But you got to remember, a lot of people are not brave enough to leave their fear-based limited paradigm because a lot of them have made it their identity. Some people have built entire communities around that fear-based limited paradigm. Shoot, they'd have to find all new activities to do. They'd have to find all new friends, and that's just too much work. There's a structure and a hierarchy and rules already in place. It's just plug and play. That's easier to do than waking up. So, remember, the ego is non-physical. So the ego is always trying to prove its existence by being superior to others. The ego will try to justify its beliefs by criticizing others' beliefs and then validate its own beliefs by getting them to conform to its beliefs. Don't fall into the ego's game. Just because you have discovered a new epiphany of the nature of reality in your own divine essence doesn't make you better than the other person. It just means that they haven't discovered it yet. Or they may have chosen not to discover it for this particular incarnation, but that doesn't make them any less of source having a physical experience. Your spiritual awakening and other people. So what is the best thing to do? Simply stay in your lane and be the light that you want to see reflected back to you. The universe is your mirror. Those that are ready to wake up will be naturally drawn to you. They'll have this inner pull to just ask you, why are you always smiling? Why are you always in a good mood? You're always so generous, open, carefree. It never seems like you're fearing anything. Aren't you scared of anything? This is Namaste in action. The divine in them is recognizing the divine in you. So they're ready to wake up. If you're coming into contact with people that are not recognizing your light, or your light triggers them, then they're not ready to wake up. Maybe they haven't reached that point in their timeline yet where they're ready to wake up, or maybe they chose not to wake up for this particular incarnation. But the ones that are asking, wow, what is it that you're doing different from me? They're ready for your light. So this is where you share your spiritual practice with them. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. But another way of saying that is you don't need to go around and make students out of people that are not ready for teachers. your spiritual awakening and other people. Remember, you are here for the experience. So the journey is the destination. So enjoy that journey, knowing that whatever that journey is completely valid because you chose it before incarnating, and everyone else chose their journey as well. Your spiritual path doesn't need anyone else's validation, and vice versa. So step out of the egoic mind's need to validate your spiritual beliefs and just simply savor and learn from the journey that you chose to experience before you decided to incarnate. First, we will do quote of the day, and then we will do question of the day. Here is today's high vibrational quote. Now, question of the day. What is a highlight of your spiritual journey? Let us know in the comments below. I always feel like I'm getting to know you guys on a deeper level when you share your spiritual experiences with me in the comments. So I'm eager to read those experiences. Again, Lightways Live, first ever, tomorrow, Friday, 9:30 Pacific time, March 18th. Also, if you have a question for me, add me on Instagram _Lightways. Until next time, I will see all of my beautiful Light fam in the next video. Light, love, and abundance to all that are watching and to all you love. Peace, guys.